Capricorn 12, a student of nature lecturing. This is a symbol of the wide ramification in experience by which man achieves his greater opportunities, emphasized on the vicarious or intellectual side as he participates in events and shares meanings through the mind's eye alone. Here is direct fulfillment in consciousness. Life gains its eliminability as the individual discovers that he can master its endless facets through ever expanding facilities of the reason. This is reminding me a lot of that Eight of Pentacles. The key word is explanation. When positive, the degree is self-confident through the acquisition of knowledge and effective self-direction through the practical application of all values. And when negative, psychological smugness and an unreasonable pride of intellect. Sabian symbol for this moon. Okay. So we have guidance here. We have our deck. And we've got 3 questions and then a guidance card. And then that will conclude Twitchy Tuesday. All right, first question is going to be, what type of foundation do we need to create to flourish and succeed during the second half of the year? So let me get that rolling. Thank you, Spirit. All right, so what type of foundation do we need to create to flourish and succeed in the second part of this year? All right, Spirit. Oop, thank you. We have the Empress. And how can we feel safe and secure about our goals? Okay. We got a lot to say about that. And then what boundaries do we need to assert to restore our personal power? What boundaries do we need to assert to restore our personal power? Beautiful. Okay. Let me put this over here. And then this is the, whoa, hello. Okay. This is the Starseed Oracle. Again, that is not in the description box yet, but it will be at the end. Let me get one more for guidance. Oh, learning how to be human in the world, but not of it. We just talked about that. And child of the cosmos. And this is really honing in with me with this moon here. Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay. So, first question. What type of foundation do we need to create to flourish and succeed in the second half of this year? And the Empress came out with that. And for our audio listeners, just to give you what came out in this middle question of how can we feel safe and secure about our goals, we had the Queen of Wands, we had the Seven of Pentacles, we had the Emperor, we had the Eight of Cups, and we had the 10 of Cups. All came out. That's the order that it came out. Fanned it out. This is what we're going with. And I think all of this is really bleeding together, especially with our 2 guidance cards. What boundaries do we need to assert to restore our personal power? The moon came out from that. Biggest message right away that has to come out, because I think it's going to kind of lead our direction with this entire reading, is there is something so clear here that you have to be standing in the power of you. Whatever you're doing during this moon, part of that illumination is where, like, you can put it as where you're giving your power away, where you're not standing in your power, where you're not creating and accepting this space of who you are as a spiritual, energetic being. If you are on the journey of opening up your gifts, you are internal about that. If you're not speaking that outward, if you're not sharing that with family, with friends, people that are around you, if nobody knows that you're beginning to explore this part of you, and not everybody deserves to come on your journey with you. Don't misunderstand me on that. But there needs to be this, because this came out with the boundaries and Capricorn full moon. There's this really key grounded fact that you have to set your boundaries with yourself and with others about who you are and what you are here to do, what path you are walking. And even if you're not really ready to bring everybody on your journey yet, or you're just getting into everything and you're like, okay, I'm trying to figure out what this means for me and what it could mean, it doesn't mean that you have to hide it, right? Hey, what are you doing? Oh, I'm working on learning how to read tarot. Oh, that's interesting. That doesn't mean you need to hide that from that person. All that means is that person, thank you for showing me where you're at. I know you don't need to come on this journey with me. Hi, well, can you go out tonight? No, I've got a tarot class. I'm trying to learn how to read tarot. That's so awesome. I didn't know you were doing that. That's really interesting. Okay, well, too bad you couldn't come today, but I'd love to meet with you and go out to lunch and hear about your journey. Somebody that might be willing to come on your journey with you. But it's not hiding that fact. It's not pushing it under. It's not, I'm getting the word degrading it, right? It's still owning and having that ownership in there. And that's where it's coming from. So I'm going to actually read these before I get to this side of the deck, since that message came in first and super strong. So earthed. This is earthed. And it's learning how to be human in the world, but not of it. So it says the challenge for all souls having a human experience is to be in the world, but not of it. This is what we talked about with Pisces. To realize they are souls having a human experience and be fully conscious of it, to have their soul fully embodied in their body. People's personalities tend to relate to either transcendence or immanence. Those who lean towards transcendence have a longing for the heavens and the metaphysical. They yearn for a personal experience with God and to be lost in the heavens. And they're envious of the angels and are more comfortable praying and hanging out in the stars than on earth. Again, this goes back to how's Neptune working with you? Those who tend towards immanence have attached themselves more to earth and their body. They spend more time thinking about things in this physical world rather than connecting with the heavens or their own mystical inner worlds. Being a fully embodied soul, having a human experience means finding the balance between transcendence and immanence, being in the world but not of it. And I love how these cards came out in this, and they wanted me to put them in this kind of T shape, because I do think that this is this balance, right? With all of the goodness in the middle. This is a lot of goodness in the middle here. And you can look at these as two different balances. You have two major arcana, the Empress and the Moon, on either side of all of this. It is the balance. The Empress is very earthbound. Look at, she's on the earth. We've got Venus here. Venus, the ruler of Taurus. Taurus right here. Earth. Not only earth, but fixed earth. Jupiter. Right? We are here. This is grounded. This is of the earth. This is that immanence, where the moon is very much of the ether, right? This is the transcendence. This is spending time up in the energies, up in the 5D. All of the goodness, though, comes when these two things are balanced, not when they're out of whack. So let's keep going with this earth. Most star seeds are drawn towards transcendence. They're more comfortable with the angels in the heavens. Life on earth can be more difficult for them. If this is you, you are being reminded that you chose to be a soul in a body on earth. Signed up for it, right? And you're being called to focus more on your energies in the physical world, to learn how to be human, a soul in a human body, fully present to what life on earth has to offer you. Here is an inquiry, 2 inquiry questions for you. You tend to long for the stars or be more in the physical. How can you find greater balance between the two? Because here's the goodness. You got the Queen of Wands, take great action, sovereign ruler. This is Queen of Wands. Everybody wants to come to the Queen of Wands courts. They want to come to her court. They want to enjoy her presence. They want to seek her guidance. They love that she is a fair and just ruler. You have this 7 of Pentacles. You're able to grow in your abundance. You're able to build and bring forth the things that you need for your harvest, to feed, to nourish yourself and your community and your family. The Emperor, other half of this queen, other half of the Empress. The Emperor is grounded. You know how to take action. This can also be your other half, whatever that other half looks like for you. This could be your other half that's coming. All the goodness is coming in this row. You have the 8 of Pentacles. You're able to walk away from things that no longer serve you. You know how to do that. You have the discernment. You've grown in this aspect because the 10 of Cups is here. Complete emotional fulfillment. Everything that you want. This is the completion with the finalization. One step past the 9. We have it here. But it comes within the balance. Which one is a little more off for you right now? How can you feel safe and secure about your goals? How can you feel so safe and secure about all of this? It's in the balance of these two. It's in finding out which one needs some adjustment and making those. Maybe both do. Maybe they're both way up here. Make those adjustments. Do what's necessary. What type of foundation do you need to create? You need to create one that embraces both of these aspects because they're both important. You are important in your totality. If you are a multifaceted being, all of those facets have a purpose. And then we come to the guidance card, Child of the Cosmos. The intelligence of the universe lies within you. Hold on. That one opened right up to the page. Now I've got to look at here. All right, 46. So the guidance for this moon comes in this form. There is a mysterious force that governs all of life, an intelligence that tells flowers when to bloom and the tides and seasons when to come and go. That intelligence is within you too. It was there before you drew your first breath, and it will be there well beyond your last. It's the part of you that informed every cell what to do when you were in your mother's womb. It's harder to resist this force than it is to surrender to it. Because Earth is a planet of polarity and free will is easy to forget that this intelligence exists within us. So often we become disconnected from this pulse of life and fall into the pattern of believing that we're separate or feeling that we need to go it alone. We can feel isolated and as if we need to figure things out for ourselves, to rely on our own strength. You're being called to remember the intelligence that is within each and every one of your cells, to remember that you're a precious child of a loving, gentle universe, that you have access to all of the intelligence, all of the wisdom, all of the strength, all of the flow, and all of the qualities that there ever were, are, or ever will be. And to remember that if flowers know exactly when and how to bloom, then you do too. And here's your question. Your starseed soul inquiry. How can you surrender more deeply to the intelligent flow of life? There you go. There we grow. We are done.